Hey there, this is K4A, Knowledge for All educational videos channel. We are continuing with Scratch blocks, Scratch tutorials, and we're trying to learn how and when to use Scratch block, which is named Next Backdrop. Okay, let's go to Scratch to see that in action. In last few videos I was explaining this X position motion block. So we have cat now showing on the screen where her X position is, how big or small her X coordinate is. And we have also explained these equal, greater than, and less than operator blocks, which are green. We haven't used them in game yet. We are going to use them now, but we have explained you can use them for some shop in your game. You can use them to compare one value to another, for example energy, distance, ammunition, and so on. I'm going to click and drag this my variable Scratch block and delete it because we don't need it, and I'm going to also to click and drag and delete this save block, we don't need it. And I'm going to use, I think we have here, this save block, which were using for our defining our problems. And I am going to use it to define what I want to do, what I want to make now, so we can read it on the screen and see better what to do. Okay, I want my cat, if the cat touches this, not touching the edge, but coming close to the edge, like 200 or so or more pixels to the right, I want to go to the next level, which is concert. So I already see one problem, and that is that when I go to the concert, let's try that. Let's start the game. Let's play a little bit around left and right. Okay, then I click on the concert button and I'm on the concert. That works fine, a little bit laggy because of my computer, but it works okay. But the problem is when I stop my game now, for example, I don't want to play anymore, and I click stop. Okay, game stops here, so I want to play it again, and I hope my game will start from the level 1. Click on it, but that doesn't happen. Why is that so? Well, we probably never set Scratch to start the game from the backdrop 1. We have used switch backdrop, I think, earlier, but we never, let's see, let's click on our buttons, button level 1 and button concert, to see what we have used here. Yeah, we have used switch backdrop, which is indigo looks block, Scratch block, so click on the looks Scratch blocks, and we need this switch backdrop. But we need it when? We need it first to define when our game starts. We want our game always to start from the block from the backdrop, which is called, I clicked now on the stage and then on the backdrop to see how my first level is called. My first level is called level start. Okay, I will go back to the cat now again, and I will now tell the Scratch to do what? I will now tell the Scratch to switch backdrop to level start. When the game starts, and that is here when the green flag is clicked. Okay, so every time when I start the game, when the Scratch starts the game, when the green flag is clicked, my backdrop, my stage will be level start. My backdrop will switch to level start. This is something we should done before. I apologize, we haven't done that before, but at least we have seen that now. Okay, let's go to concert. It works. Let's stop our game. It works, and when I now press the green flag, it should switch to level start. Okay, so now we have what we wanted here as a start, but let's define our problem here. What we have done just now wasn't the thing which I want to make, the feature which I want to make for this lesson, but we had to do it because it was problematic. Okay, so what do I want here to do now for this level, for this video? I want my cat, when it goes to the right and over 200 pixels, look at what the cat is saying, 150, 60, 70, 80, 90, 200. So, for example, if I want my cat I want my cat to go to the next level when she goes over 210 pixels to the right. Like this. If it goes over 210, like 213, 23, and so on, I want my cat to enter next level. Okay, so let's say it first. Let's say it first here. If the cat, if my computer starts working for a change. Okay, if the cat goes to the right and her X position is over 210, then enter the next level. I'm going to attach this to the cat just so I can see that on my screen as a problem which I have to solve. That is how my mind works better. Okay. Oh no. I have this say X position. I will just detach it for a second. Yeah, okay, so I have explained how that works earlier, but there was confusion what to say, X position or this first sentence, and I need first sentence now, so I need it just to work faster and easier. Okay, that's our problem. That's what we have to do here, and now let's read it. If the cat goes to the right and her X position is over 210, then enter the next level. Let's zoom a little bit and try to solve this problem. If the cat goes to the right, that means if I control my cat to the left and to the right, which we have defined earlier, so that works. But if it goes to the right and her X position, okay, X position, we have learned that before, so we'll need this block, X position. If you don't have it, click on the motion blocks and then go below and click and drag it to your right. So if this X position block is over 210 pixels, so this is some value, we have learned that already. That value will change depending on if our cat is more to the left or more to the right, and it will go from 240 to minus 240. So if this position, X position, this value, this block is over 210, okay, how to say that in Scratch language, how to say it with Scratch blocks? One value has to be over another value. One value has to be greater than other value. Okay, we have learned that in previous lesson that we have these operator blocks. Green one, click on the green one, circle if you don't have this one on your stage and find it on your left, click and drag it to your right. And this is what we are going to use here and now. If my X position, click and drag it here into this blank white space field and read it. If my X position is greater, this sign means bigger than, greater than, bigger than 50. I don't want my X position to be bigger than 50. I want to ask Scratch, is my X position bigger than how much? 210. Why that number? Because that is when the cat is here, and that is when I want my cat to enter the next level. So it will look like cat is going from left to the right, and when it goes near this edge, it enters the next level. So oops. So let's see it. If my X position is greater than 210, then enter the next level. We don't know how to do it yet, and that is where this new Scratch block comes in help, and that is one of the looks block, the indigo one. So click on the looks blocks and find the next backdrop, right? That is what we are teaching today. I have accidentally clicked on this image, so let's wait until my dying computer opens it so we can close it. Or maybe not. Let's try to go back to the... Yeah, it opened it for a second. Next backdrop, cool. Okay, let's go back to Scratch. So what we need here is this next backdrop Scratch block. Click and drag it to your right, and we are going to use it here. But first, let's see again what the cat is saying. What is our problem? We have to ask the Scratch if the cat goes to the right and her X position is over 210. We have defined here if the X is greater than 210, but we haven't made our question yet. Where are the questions in Scratch? They're in control blocks. They are orange one, so go to the control blocks group, click on the if then, and drag and drop it to your right. I already did that in previous lesson. So if something is true, then do something else. Okay, the question here is the X position greater than 210? This is the question, and this is the space for the question, so drag and drop it into it. So we are asking the Scratch if the X position is greater than 210, then do what? Then do what we need here is that, and that is then change to next backdrop. Let's stop this here. Let's zoom out and let's see where to attach this. Let's first drag and drop this into else, which we have just detached for this example. Let's detach this first block. Scratch defining problem for Scratch. We don't need that. We don't need our problem to be defined on the screen anymore, because I hope we have solved it. And let's see where to use this if X position is greater than. When do we want our cat? I'm going to start this game just to explain it easier. When are we going to when do we want our Scratch to examine, to ask, is the cat close to the edge, is over 200 pixels and 10 pixels to the right? Do we want to ask it when the game starts, like here, once and never again? Or do we want to ask that all the time, like maybe player is going to the left a little bit, up, down, right, and so on? So when are we going to ask Scratch? Do we ask the Scratch that once or all the time? I think it's all the time, because we need to know all the time, is this cat going to the left, is the cat going to the right, is the cat close to the edge, and so on. So we need to check that all the time. And when we have to check something all the time, we have learned that before, we have to put it in this forever block. So let's see where to put it. Up on the top or back to the bottom. I think it will be the same, more or less. Let's try with the bottom, because Scratch is working really fast, and Scratch is forever and ever asking, is the cat touching the green color? Yes, do this. Not, do this. Is it touching the lava? Yes, do this. Not, do this, and so on. So the last thing which we will ask Scratch, is the cat going over the X position greater than 210, and if it is, go to the next backdrop. Let's see that if it works now. And but before testing, sorry, let's see our backdrops. Click on this stage to your right, and then click on the backdrops here to your left top to see how many backdrops we have and what will actually happen, because maybe we will run into some problems. Probably will. Okay, first backdrop is level 1, and that is our starting white background. Second backdrop is level concert, and third backdrop is XY grid. Okay, so we have 3 backdrops here. If you haven't followed our videos and our tutorials, you maybe have only one. So if you have only one, this will not work. Why? Because we are telling Scratch now, go to next backdrop. If you have only one, like this level start, and you don't have 2 level concert and XY grid as backdrops 2 and 3, then there is nothing to go to. There is no backdrop 2, so you cannot go to the next backdrop because you don't have next backdrop. Simple as that. So for this sample, you're going to need 2 or more backdrops. Okay, let's go to cat to see that now in action, if it works. Okay, this X position saying is working, this lava is working, this acid is working, this lava is working, and when I go up and down and left and right, position of my X changes. Okay, so what will happen now if I go over 210? So you can see me pressing right key very slowly, so you can read this 180, 190, 200. So when the next step, when I press the right key, should go over 210, it will be 213. So I think we should be able to go to the concert stage, to the concert level, and let's see if it works. Yeah, it works great. So you can see that we now have programmed our cat to go to the right, and that way enter the concert stage, and that's cool. That's like making a portal into some other level, so you can use it for your games, for more complex games, as one way to do it. And we have learned to use what? We have learned to use this X position, greater than operator, and next backdrop. This video was supposed to explain next backdrop only, but because we have learned X position and greater than in previous few videos, we have combined this next backdrop with those 2 blocks. But what is the problem here? I already know, but you will probably, some of you which are young or not so into programming, will be confused, and that is what will happen now if I go again over 210. You can see the cat is going over 200, and now what will happen now? If I press the right key, my X position will be 212. So I should switch to the next level. and next level is X and Y grid, right? So that should work, but I think it won't work because we haven't defined some other stuff. I will explain it now, but let's just try to see how it will look like something is bugging. Yeah, I have just like it was just like some kind of glitch, like some kind of explosion, and I am back on the concert stage again. Why is that? Oh, you could actually see that for a split of a second. It was a grid and then concert again. So something is working, but not as I want. And why is that? Why we cannot go to the next level? I will explain that now. I hope I will be short, but probably not, because we are already learning this too much, too slow. Anyway, let's just delete some of those because we don't need them, and this is already slow. I will drag and delete these operator blocks equal and less than because I don't need them now, and if I need them later I will just pick them again. Same with this say block. Okay, so let's see where the problem is and how to solve it. Here I'm telling the X position of the cat is greater than 210, then go to the next backdrop. And if I go to the stage and then to the backdrops, I can see that there is an X backdrop, and that is backdrop 3, X and Y grid backdrop. Okay, so it should be working, but it still isn't. Let's see how to solve that problem. Okay, if the X position is greater than 210, then go glitching. Let's see how the cat is working with the concert stage, with the backdrop level concert. What we are saying to the cat how to behave when the backdrop is concert. Okay, these are some old and we also don't need them, and I will delete them later. Okay, we have controls for the cat here, we don't need that. We have to find how the cat is behaving. Okay, so it's here. How the cat is behaving when backdrop switches to level concert. We have learned that in previous lesson, one of the first, this control, this event block when backdrop switches to. Okay, so let's read this loud, what we are saying to the Scratch and to the cat. When backdrop switches to level concert, I'm telling the cat to resize to 75%. That means become a little bit smaller, and go to X and Y minus 40. So every time I enter the stage, which is called level concert, my cat will snap to this position here between these speakers and to the left of this kid. So every time I enter this stage, it will hop to this, hop, hop, hop. It doesn't matter if I am coming from the level 1 or from the level 3 or from the level 56. Always my cat will always start on the concert stage on these X and Y coordinates. And I have never ever defined that for my third level X and Y grid, so I will have to do it now. Okay, what is the problem and how to solve the problem? Once again, we have this: when backdrop switches to level start, do this. When backdrop switches to level concert, do this. But we have never ever defined this. when backdrop switches to X and Y grid. We have never ever told the Scratch how to behave there. So, what is happening? The cat goes here to the right, and then Scratch reads this command: go to the next backdrop if your X position is greater than 210. My X position here is greater than 210, and I am going to the next backdrop. Next backdrop is X and Y grid, and Scratch opens that grid, but because the cat stays here, we never ever told her to skip to this position. In the split of the second, Scratch is asking again, is your position greater than 210? And it was. So cat is then jumping to the first level, and then again jumping to the concert. So it's crazy. I hope you understand, but in short, because we have never defined how to cat how to behave when on X and Y grid backdrop, cat stays here, and the Scratch is doing this really fast, and Scratch is asking, is the X position greater than 210? The cat says yes, I'm on the X greater than 210. Then the Scratch says, okay, go to the next backdrop. Next backdrop is X and Y grid, but the cat doesn't change its position. It's on the X and Y grid for a split of a second, but still on the same position. And the Scratch says, okay, are you on the position greater than 210? Cat says, yes, I am. Okay, where are you? On the X and Y grid. Okay, go to the next backdrop. This here. Then it opens the next backdrop, which is the first level. We have explained that earlier. When you have more than one backdrop, they go into loop. So after the 1 goes 2, after the 2 goes 3, after the 3 it doesn't stop, it goes again to the 1, to the 2, to the 3, again to the 1, to the 2, to the 3. So it's a loop. So the cat is looping from the concert into the third level, X and Y grid, into the first level, and then hops here, it jumps here, because we have told her go to the X minus 128 and minus 40. So I hope I'm going to solve it fast now, and I will guide you through it. If you're confused by my explanation, sorry, but go through this video a couple of times, or just don't use this block until you are sure what we are doing now. So I'm telling here the Scratch, if you're on the level concert, size of the cat is 75 and position of the cat is this 128 and minus 40. Okay, I will click on this and copy this, and I will drag and drop it to the X and Y grid, and I will tell the Scratch, okay, when you are on the grid, X and Y grid, set the size to 100. I want my cat to be full size, and I want my cat to go to this position, which will be here, only on X and Y grid. So now when the cat goes on the concert stage like this, it will enter the X and Y grid and snap to this. I think it will work for this. Let's try it. Okay, first level works nicely. Let's go to the right to enter the concert. This works nicely. Let's go to the right to enter the next stage, which is X and Y grid. Yeah, it works nice. It doesn't work completely nice. Have kid here and these stars here. So let's hide them. Let's code them. Let's first stop this. Let's go into the kid. So you can see how quickly even some simple games, when you make them more and more complex, how you have new and new problems arising, and you have so much stuff to code and so much more complex stuff to handle and to be aware of. So you have changed one thing only, but you have to be aware that all other sprites or other code and programming will be affected too. Okay, what do I want to do here? I want this dancing kid to hide when my backdrop switches to X and Y grid. Okay, so when backdrop switches to X and Y grid, looks hide. Simple as that. We have used that before, and this is one way to do it. Same with *1. When backdrop switches to level X and Y grid, looks hide. Same with *2. Hide when backdrop switches to come on to level XY grid. If it lets me. If it doesn't let me, I cannot. Yeah, cool. Okay, hide. So let's try this. Let's reset the game. Let's go to the right. Our cat is going to the concert. It enters the concert. Concert starts. And it goes more to the right.
Hey.
Come on. I don't know why this is slow, probably because I have 1 million tabs open in Firefox. Oh, my direction is going wild, I don't know why. Let's stop it. Maybe I have, yeah, oops, maybe it will work just for, I will wait for a few seconds. If not, let's call it end here, and this should work nice in terms of what we have learned today, and that is that we have learned to change the next backdrop in one way. You don't have to use that next backdrop scratch block in the way which we have used it. Try to use it in some other way. For example, use it with some buttons. So for example, if I press the button, go to the next backdrop, go to the next level, and so on. So that's it for this video, and I hope I will see you in next few videos. Until then, keep on learning, keep on scratching, and bye for now.